thrill is gone. The thrill has gone away. The thrill is gone. The thrill has gone away. And though you've done me wrong, baby, and you'll be sorry someday, the thrill is gone. It's gone away from me. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away from me. Although I'll still live on, but so lonely I'll be. The thrill is gone. It's gone away for good. The thrill is gone. Baby, it's gone away for good. Someday I know I'll be open armed, baby, just like I know I should. You know I'm free, free now from your spell. You know I'm free, I'm free now from your spell, baby. And now it's all over, all I can do is wish you well. The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King, a minor key blues, and we're going to learn it in the key that B.B. King played it. And he often played in slightly unusual keys. This one is in the key of B minor, but it sits really nicely on the fingerboard. It's just got 4 chords, and then we'll look at some ideas for soloing. Our 1 chord, our B minor, is a minor one, as you'd expect. Our 4 chord is a minor as well, and we're going to play it using this voicing of an E minor 7, which is a really beautiful sound, and it's really close on the fingerboard to that B minor. Our 5 chord is the F sharp 7, and we can play this as 4, 3, 2, open. So that's just like our B minor chord shape moved across. But there's something a little bit unusual, and that's before that 5 chord we have a different chord. We have a G major 7. It's 1 step up from our 5 chord, so we have an F sharp 7 as our 5 chord. 1 step up from that is G, but it's not a G7, it's a G major 7, and we're going to use this voicing, which starts on the 2nd fret of your E string and then makes a diagonal line, 3rd fret of your B string, 4th fret of your G string, 5th fret of your D string. Beautiful sounding major 7th chord, G major 7, and then that moves down to our F sharp 7 and then back to our B minor. So let's just walk through those chords and count out the bars, and you can get used to putting your fingers in the right places. Now that B minor, you might have played it like this with an open 4th string, and that works fine. But if we can cover that 4th string as well as the 3rd string at the 4th fret, we can control that chord a lot more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have the E minor 7. If you're not used to that chord shape, it'll take a bit of practice to get your fingers going to it. Back to the B minor. Now here, keep your first two fingers in place and just move your ring finger back to that B minor shape, the one if we didn't play the 4th string, and put your little finger down on that 4th string 5th fret. Now either at this point you can either slide everything down and take off the 1st finger, but I find that a bit uncomfortable, and anyway I'm going back to that B minor. So what I do from there, G major 7 to our F sharp 7, take your little finger off, hop all of your fingers across a string, that's your F sharp 7, then hop them back again, but make sure you're covering both of those strings. So maybe just hop your first two fingers back and use your little finger. Some people might squash one finger across those two strings, whichever one works for you. Now obviously that didn't sound very B.B. King, just doing that. What's happening is we're getting a really strong emphasis on beats 2 and 4. And on the record, a lot of that is the snare drum hitting quite loud. But you'll hear on various other versions that you might find there's a guitar chop or a keyboard chop on 2 and 4. So what I was doing was a fairly quiet, just up and down strum like this. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And when I do that, I take the pressure off with my left hand to give it a nice, short, sharp chop sound rather than a ring. And that's why I've chosen that voicing and this one, even though it's quite tricky, for the E minor 7, because I can do the same thing there. So let's try it with that rhythm. When I get to the G major 7, I actually let that ring a bit more, and the F sharp 7, and then back to the B minor again. So those have got open strings in. We don't have to worry about that sort of sharp, snappy sound. We can let those ring a bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the E minor 7. Back to the B minor. G major 7, let it ring. F sharp 7. Back to our B minor. And then we're back to the top again. There's no turnaround, it finishes on a B minor and it starts again on a B minor, so we can just sit on that chord. Now apart from those different chord voicings, those different positions, and that big stretch on that major 7th, that it does sound beautiful, there's nothing too difficult. We've got 4 chord shapes to learn. But on the little playthrough at the beginning, you'll notice that I took a little solo, so I thought I'd show you some typical little patterns that B.B. King might have used, note choices that he would use. All the way through this, we can keep using the same little note pattern. He was quite economical with his note choice, and that was great because he was almost, imitating a human voice, which is what a lot of the great blues players did. They weren't really all about flash, they were about making these little statements that sounded like little vocal lines. They're imitating the voice singing the song. So we're going to use this little pattern, and it's going to start on your first string at the 12th fret, and then the 10th, and then down onto your second string, 12th, 10th, then down onto your third string, 11th, and then if you want to keep going down, you can go down to the 9th, the 7th, and the 4th. But you don't have to go right down there. You can do an awful lot just with those ones on your first 2 strings. The trick is that I'm bending certain ones of those notes, and the one that's a real prime candidate to bend is the 12th fret on your first string. So see if you can do that. Play the 12th fret, and as soon as you've plucked it, what we're going to do is we're going to not bend with one finger. I want you to try and get all 3 fingers on that string, 10, 11 and 12, because all 3 are going to be used to push that string to sort of slide it across the frets, push the string up towards the ceiling. So we get this. Okay, and it doesn't have to meet and match up with that note exactly, or that note. It can get almost there and then move to a different note. B.B. King was so clever at these sort of microtonal bends where he would bend almost to that note but not quite. So try playing your 12th fret, bending it up until it's almost the same as your 14th fret, but not quite. And then come back down with your bend, play the 12th fret as it is, and then take off your first two fingers and play your 10th fret. So you get this. And you can go down to your second string and play the 12th, the 10th, and back to the 12th again. Remember that that 12th fret on your second string is the same as your open second string. That's the note of B. That's the key we're in. So that note is going to feel like home when you go back to it. Now when the chords change and we go to our E minor 7, the home note is going to be the E on the 12th fret, which is the same as the open E string. So you might want to land on that one a bit more on the E chord. When you get to the last line, the G major 7 to F sharp 7 to B minor, take your time, don't worry too much about those chords, just find little statements that work, that echo the vocal line. That's all I was trying to do on that solo. So I'm going to play through the chord sequence now a couple of times, and you can have a go at playing. You can go down to that 11th fret on your 3rd string, or even the 9th fret if you want, or as I said before, the 7th, and maybe all the way down to the 4th fret, which is a B note. So that's another good low one to hit when we're playing our B minor chord. Your turn to have an improvise. 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't forget, you're in B.B. King's key, so as well as being able to strum along with the original recording of this, you'll be able to take some solos as well, along with B.B. King. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.